work you do?
Well, this was a historical archive that the city had agreed to house in, I think, 1976. They agreed to provide space, and they worked with the City of Lancaster Historical Society, who maintained it, in quotes. What happened, unfortunately, with all of us is those of us that tend to be most interested in history tend to be the oldest among us. Mm-hmm. And those folks started to age, and they just didn't keep up with it. In fact, another side story is that we also are officers of the corporation that own and operate the Nelson Dewey Church next to his gravesite here. Mm-hmm. So we've been doing that for over 20 years. But anyways, the archives were pretty much in disarray because the folks that had maintained it
gave up on it.
And in some cases died. So I knew there was a lot of valuable material in here, so I wanted to see if I could find it. So basically, I asked to look at the room, walked in, and it was just stacked. And so I asked the city if they would like us to, pardon?
I said haphazardly.
Very much. And asked the city if they'd like us to do that.
What year was that?
About 2 or 3 years, about 3 years ago?
I'd say.
So like
Between 2 and 3 years ago. So basically what I did is I took everything out of that room and moved it up to that room, and then started resorting it. And basically that's taken, what do we figure? In excess of 1,000 hours, well in excess of 1,000 hours. We don't have any exact ideas, just rough ideas. So we just basically got archival boxes, but
City agreed to pay for those.
and so it's just a long-term tedious task, and so we've got everything organized. And what we're doing now, the two of us, is we're inventorying it, which means you go through each item and put it on, it's basically an Excel spreadsheet that's searchable. I was president of the Grand County Historical Society for a while. I was on the board of curators of the Wisconsin State Historical Society. So over the years, being involved in that, you're not an expert in archiving, but given we don't have an expert, I'm the next best thing to try to get this stored in a proper manner. One of my goals when I retired was to read a nonfiction or history book every week. And I've done pretty well. Only about 6 weeks behind in that time. And I read all kinds of history.
From 8 years.
From ancient history to American Revolution history, to current history, to war history. Napoleon said that the only true philosophy is history. And so what you do by reading history is you really learn about yourself, and you learn about what's happening in the world today. And what you see what's happening in the world today, you realize the patterns have been played out many, many times before. And you sit today then and try to guess which pattern is going to play out in our election next week. Will it be an ancient Roman demagogue like Marius, or will it be Julius Caesar, or will it be Napoleon? Tell me what's going to come out of this. Well, when you have history, you don't know the future, but you have at least a variety of things to choose from, because it has happened in a similar form in the past. When you're young, and particularly if you have a family and children, you're so absorbed with providing for them and time with them, you don't have time for these things. Once your children leave home, you get more time to do it, and then finally when you retire, if you live long enough, you have the time to finish and do all the things that you wanted to do, the reading, the studying, the research, the travel, before your legs wear out.